How much worse can it get for the altcoins with a significant sell-off being seen across Bitcoin and the altcoins over the past 48 hours? Things are feeling pretty scary in the crypto markets. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to prepare for the next moves and what you should be doing to ensure that you are profitable during this bull market, because right now it is more crucial than ever. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's get on with it. Now, guys, if you're like me, you probably opened up the Bitcoin chart this morning and thought, shit. Things are looking pretty scary indeed. With Bitcoin taking a dump around 11%, we've seen many altcoins out there down 20, 30, maybe even 40%. And many of us have been absolutely decimated in the markets in the recent days. So how much worse can it get? And is this the end of the bull market? And also, what the hell should I do right now? Because the coins I've been buying in the last few weeks maybe are down significantly on where they were. Now, let me go through these questions one by one. And I promise you, if you stick around to the end of this video, you're going to be feeling much happier once more. Now, Bitcoin, as we can see, has pulled back to a very key area. And I use the term pullback rather than dump because I think one of the biggest problems in this bull market is influencers using words like dumping and crashing to try and scare you into watching videos. But I'm trying to have a bit of calm today because that's what we really need, isn't it? Now, first things first, we need to understand why we saw this pullback. And you're probably like, well, I already know. It was this guy I'd never even heard of from the FOMC giving this speech that for some reason crashed the crypto prices. And you might be right, okay, that might have been the catalyst. But really, what was actually behind this crash was the fact that you and me and lots of other people have been a bit too bullish recently. We've all been buying the tops of coins. We've been going in with over-leveraged positions into coins we'd never even heard of 2 days ago, thinking that we can't possibly lose. And guess what? That makes for a very unstable market. So any particular little shaky piece of news out there results in this cascade of prices falling down where people's over-leveraged positions get liquidated and everyone else panic sells because they have no idea what they're even doing in crypto. And that's how we end up here. So what we need to understand first of all is this the end of the bull market? Because if it is, we probably need to get out. And we need to go do something else to try and make some money over the next few years, waiting for the next time that Bitcoin dips under 20K. Well, despite what you might hear, absolutely not. This is not the end of the crypto bull market. There is a lot of time ahead of us, but can we go lower in the coming days? Well, I'm going to talk about that slightly later on. So let me explain to you why it's not the end of the bull market and keep it very, very straightforward. Okay, Bitcoin is 86% correlated to the global monetary supply. It's even more correlated than gold or stocks or anything else. And you're like, okay, well, what's money supply? Where's this money going to come from magically? Well, it's actually coming from places like China right now, who are trying to stimulate their economy because their economy has been struggling recently. And this is what countries have to do to stop themselves going into recession. They print a load more money, and this stimulates the economy. This means that people then are a little bit more flush with cash. Investors have more money and they start to reach out to riskier assets. And what about the US? Interest rates are coming down, but we heard Jerome Powell, who's that guy I was talking about earlier from the Fed, saying that maybe things aren't as good as we think they are and maybe inflation's coming up a bit too fast. Well, does that mean that the Fed won't be printing money? Well, let's ask Investopedia.com. When does the Fed increase the money supply? Normally, you'll see the Fed print money or increase the money supply when economic activities are slow. It does so to spur demand for product and services and economic growth. So should we look at what the US economic growth is looking like right now? If we jump across to this, 2023, 2024, GDP, this is showing us economic growth. And we can see from Q1 into Q2, we saw a bit of a pickup. Things were looking pretty good. Then Q2 into Q3, things slowed down pretty aggressively. And this is very typical on an election year. After the election year is over and we get a new president in, guess what they do? They stimulate the economy to make the economy grow and make you feel like you as a US voter made the right decision. And this pretty much happens without fail every 4 years. And we're going to see it happen this time, which is why the bull market is not over and we will continue to go up higher into next year. So if we know that we are going to continue to go higher next year, why the F are you panicking? Well, I know exactly why you're panicking, because you did what I've told you not to do so many times before. You've only been paying attention to crypto and buying crypto when the markets have been going higher and higher. And that's really unfortunate, but it's how our psychology works. We see patterns. We try to shortcut things, which is why when prices are going up, we're all like, is it still time to buy? Can I buy that? Because it looks like it's going up and it's going to continue going up. Therefore, it's also really hard to buy when it's going down because we're like, maybe we should sell because it looks like the price is going to continue lower. And I know you're doing this. Let me show you. This is viewstats.com, and you can see how well the House of Crypto is doing right now. Just a few weeks ago, the House of Crypto was getting pretty much more views than anyone else in crypto, with classics like Don't F This Up getting nearly 164,000 views in a single day. Other ones about various different altcoins were getting 157,000 views a day. And that was because the markets were going up. So what you were doing was watching these videos, running around buying as many coins as you could while the market was going up, because your brain was telling you that the markets would continue to go higher and higher, so that you kept buying the tops of coins so that your average price paid was much higher perhaps than it should be. And then all of a sudden, on days like today and yesterday, when maybe it's probably time to buy the dip, I make this absolute banger of a video about Solana and the opportunity in Solana, and this gets 22,000 views. Are you mental? Okay, this video is far more useful to you than this video, but you don't want to see it because your brain's tricking you into watching panic-based content on a day like today, rather than stuff that's going to give you the opportunity to buy into coins lower. And right now, with the price of Bitcoin at $96,846, I decided to do a little experiment. I asked over on my Twitter page, which I recommend that you go and follow me on, because you can too play along with these little games. I also share various different coins on this Twitter page before I talk about them on YouTube. You will see that I made this little quiz. What happens first? Bitcoin falls to 95,000 or Bitcoin goes to 108,000? And all of you back at home right now are shouting out that Bitcoin's going to go to 95k, aren't you? And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but remember, the majority of people in this market have to lose money for a few people to make lots of money, correct? So basically what happens in this bull market is money doesn't just arrive from all these different locations. What you're having to do to make money is to take money from other people. When I buy something low and it goes high and you're trying to buy it at the top and I'm selling it to you, you're the one giving me the money. You're the one allowing me to make money. So if I come down below and the answer is A, okay, 95k, down here, with the exception of this person who's saying back to 108, everyone else is A, few B's in there, A's, mostly 95s, okay? Everyone's saying it's going to go lower. We've lost support. We're going to 95. It's going to go down. It's going to go down, 94. You get the picture. Every single person out there, while it's lower, are panicking about it going lower. When at the top, everyone was trying to buy more, panicking that it was going to go higher and that they were going to miss out. Therefore, what do you now know? The chances are that the prices move in the opposite direction to what everyone is really kind of thinking. If right now everyone is absolutely panicking themselves about this going lower, there is a very reasonable chance that actually it turns around and goes higher. Now, I'm not saying for sure that this can't go lower, okay? But I'm going to say that the actual risk and exposure that you now have to the downside is much lower than the chances of it going higher. And now many of you are sort of panic selling and wondering whether the prices can go lower. Now you find yourself in a sticky position, because if you sell and suddenly you go to bed tomorrow and Bitcoin finds itself back up here, I guarantee you that the altcoin that you sold, just for example, let's say ICP, okay, that you sold down here, you'll wake up tomorrow and ICP will probably be back at around $12. In a bull market, if you bought high recently and you're feeling the pain, learn what you did wrong, okay? If you got too hyped up and excited at the top of the market, there's only one thing realistically that you can do right now. Well, two things if you don't have the option to do the first thing, and that is to try and buy more. Obviously, this would not be financial advice because that would be inappropriate of me to give it, and obviously I'm not qualified to give you that. But here's the scenario. Let's say you bought $100 of ICP up here. ICP has now fallen down 34%, and you can apply this to any coin out there. So let's just say we're down 35% on $100. We've lost $35. We're now on $65. Guess what you can do? If you were to buy $100 more into ICP down here, your average price paid is no longer up here. It's now somewhere around here, which means that there's a good chance if you bought the dip that you could return back to profitable levels sooner rather than later. Not only that, but you'll also correct the silly mistake that you made up here by getting overzealous and buying the tops. On the flip side of things, if you do what many other people out there do, and they have $100 up here and they lose their $35, they then are left with $65. What happens is they wake up tomorrow and ICP's up here, and then they go and put $65 back into ICP around here, and then what happens is when their ICP goes back to where it was when they first bought in, they've now made 20% on their ICP, which is like $15 approximately. So if you take $15 and you add it to 65, you're now left with 80, which means that they're back to the same place and they're down 20%. And if you continue to do this multiple times through a bull market, it's going to get very painful for you, because actually you're probably not going to buy here. You're going to wait until ICP is actually back up at new highs, and then you're going to buy again with your 65 bucks. ICP is then going to pull back on you like this. You're going to sell 65 bucks that's now become like, I don't know, 35 bucks, and then it's going to pump again, and then you're going to end up with absolutely nothing. Okay, so when it's really uncomfortable and painful, remember that everyone is thinking the same as you, and the game here isn't to think, okay? Because thinking gets you in trouble, because the emotions you're feeling are very real. I know that because I feel the same thing, and you represent the market. If everyone is panic selling today, the chances are that the prices are going to go higher sooner rather than you think. The more panicked, the more stressful you are right now, the chances are it's not going to be so painful soon enough, as long as you don't fumble here. Now, I appreciate many of you can't buy that dip, because obviously it's Christmas and you maybe have got too stuck into this a little bit too early. But if you can, that's personally what I've been doing. And in addition to not being emotional, or literally just doing the full opposite of your emotions, when you're feeling greedy and you're telling your mate about how much money you just made on like Fartcoin or whatever it is that you've been buying, it's probably the time to maybe take a little bit of profits out. On the flip side of things, when you're feeling like, oh God, this is the worst, then maybe it's time to try and load up more. If you do the opposite of your emotions, then you won't go far wrong in this bull market. I promise you, okay? I promise you that's what you should be doing on the way up. And literally, as we've been making this video, Bitcoin has now spiked up another few $100. So hopefully it's going to hold on there for dear life until my editors manage to get this video together so that this video still has the effect that I hope it does. Even though, because prices are down, you're probably not even going to watch this video until the prices are back up again. But whatever, I try. So don't be like Hossbone, okay? It is not over yet, okay? You're all right. Things are going to be okay. Zoom out, calm down. If you can't buy the dip, turn your computer off. Go and start getting on silly season. It's Christmas, guys, okay? Go and have a few beers, enjoy yourself. Okay, and then you can get back into these charts maybe later on. If Bitcoin does come down lower, then guess what? So will your altcoins. As long as you're not over leveraged, you're going to be okay. I personally don't think that we're going to go significantly lower than this, but I could be wrong. If we go lower, where are the next levels going to be? And that's because you can see some good support here. So what do? I right click, I set myself an alert, and this gives me a chance to maybe go and buy more of that dip. So for example, instead of putting in $100 up here, if I've only got $100 to play with, maybe I'm going to put in 50 or 70 bucks up here, and if it gets down to that level, I can put in another 50 bucks, okay? And then I can play a game of buying that dip, okay? Things can't go too wrong. Early stages of bull markets. Right now, we've only dipped around 10.5%. Bitcoin dominance has taken a big dip towards the downside from around mid-November. You can see it's now starting to rise back up again, but it's starting to stall out again. If we look back to the last bull market, then really we didn't see anything significant in terms of a dip on the Bitcoin dominance. We saw this initial dip, and then we kind of saw sideways a lot for like January, February. If we jumped across to Bitcoin from the last bull market, then we saw plenty of red days like this one, which we've gone through today. This is down 7-8%. We can see another one up here where we saw a dip of around, 16%. And in fact, this dip here, the big one, only came when Ethereum and the altcoins started to pull liquidity away from Bitcoin. We're probably not really there yet, because this was pretty much altcoin season getting off to a start. And we haven't really seen the altcoins running yet. So I'm really not anticipating a very, very big dip in Bitcoin like this. But obviously I've been wrong before and I could be wrong again. All you got to do is remain calm. Things are good. Now, if you are new to crypto and you're struggling to remain calm, I get it. It's really pretty stressful. So what you could do is join my Hivemind, which is linked down below in the description. It's called the Inner Circle. It's just $20 per month. And in here, you can speak with a lot of people who've been in crypto for multiple years. A lot of people in here today are very positive about what they're seeing in the markets. They're talking about different coins they're buying, and they're offering a bit of mutual support, while others out there are panicking all over the shop. Not only that, but there's a meme coin community, lots of different traders who are talking about meme coins all the time, preparing for the next meme coin run, which probably will be happening into next year at some point. I'm sharing in here various different trades that I've been making over the last few weeks. If you want to access my trading signals in here on various different altcoins, then you can also do that just by clicking on the trade zone. And we also have Nansen Smart Alerts, where you can see big whales and see what different altcoins those whales are buying all of the time. So if you want to be able to trade like a whale and start making some money in this bull market and join a group of smart crypto investors, then simply join the Inner Circle, link down below in the description, for just $20 a month. Guys, I hope hope you enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Hit the like button, subscribe, and calm the hell down. See you later. Bye-bye.